Hello everyone, I'm David Freeman. Welcome to our Bible Talk video. In this video, we will be discussing the thoughts of the righteous. What are righteous thoughts? What does it mean to have a thought that is right? Does it simply mean to be correct? Like adding up 2 plus 2 and getting 4? Is it the correct answer on the test? Or is there something more? Is it something deeper and more profound, something God breathed? You see, righteousness comes from God first and foremost. And so for someone to have thoughts that are righteous, it's more than just a math equation. It's a God equation. It means that you are thinking on God, and that's greater than any math problem. It's greater than anything that science or history can give us. It's simply God, and God is greater than all the things that He has made. And so for someone to have right thoughts, what that means is that he's thinking on God. So Proverbs 12:5, which is where we get the title of our video, the thoughts of the righteous are right. And so what does it mean to have thoughts that are right? It means that you are thinking on God. All the day long, you're seeking after Him. You're calling out to Him. In days of trouble, you think about Him. In days where you have everything that you need, you're thinking about Him and you're giving thanks to Him. In everything, you are giving thanks and praise to God. All throughout the day, God is on the tip of your tongue. And if you're in an environment where it's not necessarily politically correct to constantly talk about God, and you might be in an environment where you're persecuted, then He's in your thoughts. Because if you're thinking on God, you are right in your mind. That's what it means to have thoughts that are right. The thoughts of the righteous are right. And so, to be righteous, you must simply have thoughts that are right. And to have thoughts that are right, you must think on God. God is the answer for all living things. He presented us with a beautiful creation. We screwed up and we fell. And then He fixed it by sending His only begotten Son to die for us. And so all that we have to do, the entire duty of mankind, is to think on God's name and to help others do the same. So if you are in the right with God, then you are simply thinking on God. The ways of the Lord, Hosea 14:9, are right. You see, that's why the thoughts of the righteous are right if we think on God, because the ways of the Lord are right. And so if we think on God and His ways are right, then if we think on Him, then our ways will be right because His ways are always right. And everything that God does is right. So if you add it all together, if you think beyond this, if you think beyond your own self, you will always arrive at God. God is the answer for all living things. He is the reason that we're here. He's the reason that we suffer, the reason why we live, and the reason why we're dead to ourselves. Everything that happens to us is for God. It's all for God. Even our own suffering can bring glory to God. You see, that's why we have to think outside of ourselves and think on Him. You're not righteous if you think on yourself, and every single day when somebody has a problem with you, if you answer them back in the way that they gave it to you, then you're not thinking on God, because God would do it the right way. God would answer in love. And so if you're thinking on God, you're going to answer in love. You see, the golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And in order to do the golden rule, you have to have the right thoughts. Because in order to love one another, you have to have thoughts first that would incline you to be conditioned to love one another. And to do that, you have to first love God. That's why the first commandment is to love God. And so if you're thinking on God and you're loving God, then you'll be able to do to others what you would have them do unto you. So, to summarize, righteousness is simply doing what is right. And to do what is right, you must think on what is right. And if you do what is right, and you think on what is right all the time, then you are righteous. And if you are righteous, then you are born of the Spirit and of God. And God's will is very much a part of your life. And He's working His purpose through your life. So the ways of the righteous are right. The ways of the Lord are right. And so if we follow God and think on God, then our ways will also be right. And therefore we come to the conclusion that the thoughts of the righteous are right, because the righteous thinks on God. This has been our Bible Talk video. I'm David Freeman. Thank you very much for listening.